finals. And so I'll leave it there. I mean, I'm just obviously disheartened. You know, I'm a human too. I have a family. I have 2 kids who are devastated by these comments. And so all I'll say is just, you know, it's obviously been.
Nobody saw this coming. The world watched her walk into the league smiling, patient, ready to learn from the greats, sitting quietly on the bench, happy just to be there. That's the story everyone expected. That is not the story we got. Because right now, whispers are turning into headlines, and those headlines are painting a picture nobody in the WNBA front office wanted to see. Caitlin Clark, the single biggest star women's basketball has ever produced, is reportedly done. Done with the Indiana fever. Done with the constant disrespect. And the person who may have pushed her right out the door isn't a player, isn't a rival, isn't even a fan. It's the commissioner herself, Cathy Engelbert. If these reports hold up, the league isn't just facing a public relations headache. It's staring down the loss of the most valuable athlete on the planet in women's sports. And it may have done this to itself. Let's rewind to where this all started, because the cracks were there long before anyone admitted it. This whole saga kicks off with what a lot of people are already calling one of the most baffling roster decisions in sports history. When the Olympic roster for Paris got announced, one name was missing. The same name filling arenas. The same name breaking television ratings records. Caitlin Clark wasn't on it. The excuse from the selection committee sounded polished on paper. She hadn't earned it yet. The team needed veteran chemistry for gold. But strip away the corporate language, and nobody actually believed that story. Before she'd even stepped onto Olympic hardware, the people making the calls decided to bench the rookie who was single-handedly reshaping the sport. The same rookie draining logo threes and threading impossible passes on national television every single week. The message could not have been clearer. Fame and paychecks don't buy you a seat at this table. That snub was only the opening act. If getting left off the roster felt like a cold shoulder, what happened once the season tipped off felt like something much worse. From night one, it was open season on the rookie. Cheap shots. Blindside hits. Remember the Chundi Carter hip check that sent her crashing to the floor before the ball was even live? Constant face guarding, extra shoves, physical play that crossed clean past the line of normal basketball competitiveness. And the players weren't acting alone. From the top of the league office, there was silence. Deafening, uncomfortable silence. League leadership looked the other way while their breakout star got roughed up on live TV. No quick discipline. No flagrant callouts before public anger forced their hand. In a CNBC sit-down that can only be described as a PR nightmare, she compared the hostility aimed at Clark to the old Magic Johnson, Larry Bird rivalry from the 80s. She talked business. She talked marketing upside. And while she sat there smiling through it, she never once condemned the ugly wave of racism and hatred that had been building around the players and the fan base. It was a massive misstep. By treating the abuse like a business talking point instead of a real problem, she basically confirmed every fear Clark might have had about being alone in this league. The backlash was instant. Even the Players Association, usually loyal to league messaging, had to publicly separate itself from the commissioner's comments. It fell to veterans like Nafisa Collier and Breanna Stewart to say what Engelbert wouldn't. That bigotry has no place in the sport. But by then, the damage to Clark's trust may have already been done. Picture this. You're the employee generating record profits, charter flights, and billion-dollar TV deals for your company. And your boss goes on national television and frames the abuse aimed at you as good for business. That's the kind of betrayal that makes someone start questioning their loyalty completely. And it's exactly the seed behind these exit rumors. You can't talk about any of this without addressing the room's elephant, the old guard's deep-rooted resentment. The same core group of veterans who've played together for over a decade has essentially run the national team like a private club for years. For months, word had circulated that several established players wanted the Clark circus nowhere near their Olympic chemistry. This was never really about basketball fit. It was about the spotlight. Diana Taurasi's now infamous warning about reality hitting Clark didn't age well, considering Clark went on to top the league in assists and shatter rookie records anyway. The veterans thought benching her would protect their legacy and keep their locker room pure. Instead, they may have just cut the cord connecting the league to its next generation. Yes, they walked away with Olympic gold. But they lost the PR war and alienated millions of brand new fans who tuned in purely to watch number 22. This is where the story takes a serious turn. Fresh insider chatter suggests Clark isn't sitting at home quietly nursing her disappointment over missing Paris. She's reportedly taking matters into her own hands to protect her own future. According to the rumors, after getting benched by the Olympic Committee, physically targeted by opponents, and left completely unprotected by league leadership, Clark has decided to step back from the national program altogether. It's an incredibly powerful move. She knows she's the reason for the ratings surge. She knows she drives ticket sales and jersey numbers. If the Fever organization doesn't want her fully embraced, she doesn't need any of it. She understands she has grown bigger than the league itself. Word is she's quietly signaled that if this toxic culture continues, future national team invitations simply won't interest her. If this walkout is real, the fallout will be massive. We're talking about the face of the sport potentially declining to represent her own country because of internal politics and a total lack of support. That flips the entire power dynamic. The league always operated on the assumption that athletes need the system to succeed and that Olympic gold is the ultimate prize. Clark has proven the opposite. She is the system now. If she truly steps away from Team USA, the league loses its most valuable marketing asset for the 4 years leading straight into the Los Angeles Olympics. That's a financial disaster the commissioner should be losing sleep over. For LA 2028, they need her face on every billboard. Without her, they're trying to sell a product this massive new audience simply isn't buying. Let's look at the actual numbers, because if Clark really walks, this paints a grim picture for the league. Before she arrived, the Wnba was struggling. Half-empty arenas, commercial flights, tight budgets. Since her draft, league-wide attendance has jumped more than 40%. The league locked in a media rights deal worth over $2 billion, and television viewership has tripled. Every single veteran benefiting from better travel and bigger paychecks right now is cashing checks written by her fame. That's the brutal irony here. League officials and veteran players have treated her like an outsider this entire time, all while depositing checks funded by her popularity. If she chooses to focus purely on her team and skip international duty, she's essentially handing the national program back to a group of veterans who simply don't move the needle the same way. To understand why she'd even consider something this drastic, you have to look closer at the commissioner's specific missteps. When asked directly about the worst parts of the online abuse, the racism, the threats, Engelbert pivoted straight to business language, comparing it to physical NBA rivalries from decades ago. Sure, those old rivalries got physical, but the venom we're seeing today is a different animal entirely. For a young player who stayed composed and professional through all of it, that response basically said, as long as people are tuning in, we don't care how they treat you. It confirmed every suspicion that the league quietly resents her success while still profiting off her influence. And then there's the Olympic snub itself. The committee claimed there wasn't enough time to fold her into the system, insisting her fast-paced, high-volume shooting style wouldn't mesh with the veteran's slower, more deliberate approach. But anyone who actually watched the All-Star game saw how flimsy that excuse really was. Clark's squad went up against the Olympic roster that night and dismantled them. She was hitting shots, dishing assists, elevating everyone around her. That game proved the chemistry issue had nothing to do with basketball. It was about ego. Her team looked like the future. The Olympic roster looked slow and disjointed. After that performance, the exit rumors stopped sounding like gossip and started sounding like a real possibility. Then there's the ongoing commentary problem. A certain retired legend who's repeatedly downplayed Clark's records and spread inaccurate claims about her college career, all while still cashing checks from the league as an analyst. Watching the league pay someone actively working to diminish her achievements is just one more sign of the disrespect piling up. In any normal workplace, HR steps in when a senior figure publicly misrepresents a top performer's resume. In this league, apparently, it's just accepted. Clark's camp has stayed almost completely silent through all of this, and that silence speaks volumes. Normally, an agent or PR team jumps in immediately to shut rumors like this down with a quick statement about excitement for future opportunities. That statement hasn't come. Instead, there's just quiet, the kind of quiet that suggests real conversations are happening behind closed doors, and that she's weighing every option while fully aware she holds all the leverage. Think about the physical toll this season took on her. Constant double teams, full court pressure, hits that never drew whistles. She played more minutes and absorbed more contact than almost anyone in the league, and still dragged her team into the playoffs. Her reward for all of that? A commissioner who couldn't even defend her publicly. That's a textbook case of a company failing its best employee. All of this has split the fan base right down the middle. Longtime supporters feel she's overhyped and that the league was fine before she arrived. Millions of newer fans feel she's being targeted and mistreated. That divide should be the commissioner's job to close. Instead, her comments widened it. And if Clark walks away from the Fever, those new fans go with her. They won't stick around watching a league that turned its back on their favorite player. The Olympics did fine in the ratings this cycle, but without her, the home Olympics in Los Angeles could be a genuine disaster for viewership. If she really steps back, the responsibility falls squarely on the league. They chose veteran comfort over rookie potential. They protected the old order instead of embracing the new wave. Now they may have to watch that new wave rise entirely without them. So here's where it stands. The next few months are going to decide everything. Does the league make this right? Do the veterans extend an olive branch? Or does this gap just keep growing wider? One thing is certain. Caitlin Clark is no longer the quiet rookie content with a seat on the bench. She's become a brand, a business, a force the entire sport now depends on. And she knows exactly what she's worth. So here's the real question. Should she keep pushing back and standing up for herself? Or should she have just stayed quiet and waited her turn? Drop your take in the comments, because this debate is only getting louder. And if you want to stay locked in on every twist in this story as it unfolds, make sure you're following along. Hit that notification bell so you never miss the next update. See you in the next one.